So basically, I'm measuring up all of my stringers, um, just using this board, which is fairly level, um, to kind of project across, and that way I can get my measurements. Um, what we're gonna do is raise the deck. I think it's a total of an inch and a half, I believe. But either way, we're just basically putting in an extra piece all the way around. So the deck is a bit higher. I've got some pieces to replace where I've cut them out that are, rotten out, bad, that kind of thing. Most of this was alright. Most of the bad stuff was up forward. It's all been removed. I'm thinking I should probably take this piece out too, but it seems pretty solid. We'll see. Broke out all this yesterday. I don't think we're going to cut out too much further. I'm going to pull the wood out maybe another 4-5 inches, dry it all out, and then pack that basically with coring and whatever wood. I'll cut some blocks probably out of plywood, and stick it in there, like one good solid block, like seal it up. And then measure from back there. Just make it a little bit easier. This thing's a bitch to get out, all this crap. What else am I doing? Pulled the gas fill cover off. We're gonna replace that. That was all rotten. There's a nice rat's nest in there, mouse nest, bird nest, some nest. This isn't really going to be too bad. I think the biggest stringer is a foot high, 11.5 to a foot. None of this is even from one side to the other. None of these are the same, which is pretty typical actually. So each one has its own like custom fit piece. I can't just cut. So I don't know. It goes from about 6.5, 7 inches on the most outboard stringer down to a foot. I believe actually the center is 14 inches to the gas tank. To the deck, and then of course the gas tank is going to go in the middle here with foam and that kind of thing. So after that's all ready, after I get all my measurements, I'm going to start cutting these things down. We're going to put in Kusa board all underneath for the stringers, and then just use some plywood up top. I believe we want to put in a couple of fish boxes. I don't know how far he wants to go exactly, or how far financially, budget-wise, we want to put into this boat. Really, it's just going to be for fishing and that kind of thing. But it's a solid boat. I hear good things about privateers, so they hold their value a bit. And what else? Oh yeah, this transom here. I gotta grind this down. The customer replaced this himself, and it's solid. It's fine. This edge just needs to be faired out. You can see where I marked it. Needs to be faired out. Not even faired out. Dished out, really. With a grinder, so I can lay this last layer of fiberglass up here. It's just not going to bond. You're going to get another crack. It won't have the same strength across the surface, or the tensile strength, I think is what it's called. Across the back of the transom, and it will most certainly will crack if I don't do that. So I'm going to do that and put in a few layers of glass there. What else? Not much else going on here. So the tank, underneath the tank, there's no drains, it just flows underneath, but their assembly line kind of screwed that up, where it's just, you can see there's chunks of whatever it is, fiber, or foam, putty, that kind of crap, whatever they use to build the boat with. Didn't have a free flowing space underneath, so I'm going to sort that out. We were discussing putting some Nidacore, which is you can kind of see this piece here, white board against the wall. It's a PVC core, hollow. It's really stiff and really durable. The only setback being that you can't put like screws in it and that kind of thing without a little extra work. Where obviously you can just drill into a piece of plywood or what have you. And even this stuff, I'm not really positive about. If you'd have to do a little extra to get a screw to hold. I don't know, my go-to is always just to put solid fiber. I usually use a hole saw in that stuff in the Nidacore anyway, and I'll just chop up some fiber into little 1/8 inch pieces, you know what I mean, small as I can get, and make a little wad and stuff it in there. That does the trick pretty much. Oh, I guess we do actually have a center console. I think this is a little small, but then again, if you got a small console, you got a little more deck space, I guess, a little more room to walk around. Although this boat doesn't need much more room. It's got a pretty good sized beam, pretty good width on it. So the console. Here's my question. I'm gonna call around to find out, or maybe somebody has the answer even. This is the Coosa board. I think it's just thrown on top of it. It looks like it's just, bonded to it. And I just decided to go ahead and make some filler out of the silica and epoxy and coat over it. But I'm not sure if in the future that will crack or hold, or how solid this stuff actually is. Should I coat it with some fiber just to be sure? And that kind of thing. That's sort of my question. So I'm going to call an old friend of mine and see what he has to say. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, subscribe and like this video if you care to. Thanks, God. Bye.